Today I'm making a creamy chorizo and prawn pasta. It's creamy and it comes together so quickly on your table in under 30 minutes. It's full of flavor and you're gonna love it. Now let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna start just by dicing my shallot. And we want a mince. So I'm just gonna make the little slits across and then just run my knife through. And we wanna use, I'm gonna use a whole shallot. You can use a half if you have people that are not big like onion eaters. Just gonna give it a smaller dice and we're good. And no tears. And I've just got a Spanish chorizo here. I find mine at Whole Foods. You can order it online and sometimes your local grocery store has it as well. And I'm just slicing it into like circles, not too thick. But yeah, you'll just go ahead and give that a slice. And when we cook these, it's gonna release like all the oil that we're gonna like cook a lot of our aromatics in, and it's gonna flavor the shrimp. So it's actually my favorite part of this dish because it gives it so much flavor. And I just got some Parmigiano Reggiano and I'm gonna grate about 3/4 of a cup just so you can use them as garnish and to top your dish. And I'm using a box grater and I'm just eyeballing this, but you can go ahead and measure it along as you grate. And there you go. A little for the dish and a little for me. So while I was prepping my ingredients, I brought some water to a boil for my pasta. And you bring it to a boil and then I'm gonna generously salt it. And I'm using rigatoni. I just want it to like capture the delicious sauce we got going. You could also use penne if that's what you have, but you do want a noodle that's gonna like capture the sauce in the middle of it so that when you get that bite, you get like a mouthful of sauce, because let's be honest, that's the best part. All right, just give it a stir. And I'm going to cook this 2 minutes short of al dente, just because it's gonna cook a little bit once we add it to the sauce with the shrimp. All right, so our pasta is ready. It's about 2 minutes short of al dente. I'm just gonna scoop it out. And it's okay if you get some liquid in there because we're gonna use the starchy water for our sauce anyways. So you're all good. All right. And then I'm also going to reserve about a cup of this pasta water. Let's use one of these. This is about a cup and set that aside. Perfect. So I added in a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna let that heat up for about 2 to 3 minutes and then we'll add our chorizo in. You can use a tongue, but the heat don't scare me. These are like mom hands that just don't burn. And you just want them to release their oil. We're gonna cook for about, I don't know, let's say 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes per side until it's developed a nice color and it starts to release some of that oil, and then you'll flip it and repeat the same thing on the other side. All right, they've got some really great color here. Just gonna go ahead and flip them and just cook for another 2 minutes. All right, our chorizo's done. Just set it to the side. Oops, we got a runner. So I'm using large prawns or shrimp and they're clean. And I'm just going to add them and cook them to the chorizo in the chorizo oil. And you're gonna cook them for about 30 seconds per side because they will finish cooking in the sauce. And the chorizo oil is gonna add in really nice flavor. And I'm just go ahead and add in a little salt and oregano to this. They're good to flip now. It's like barely pink, but that's exactly what we're looking for. And we'll just flip it over and you'll cook it for 30 seconds on the next side. All right, we'll just put the shrimp, same plate as our chorizo. because Lord knows I hate doing dishes. I'm gonna add in a little bit more olive oil, about a teaspoon. And then we've got our shallots. And you'll just saute these for about 2 to 3 minutes until they're like translucent and aromatic. It's gonna soak up like all that chorizo flavor, the fond from the shrimp. It's gonna be super delicious. And now we're just adding our crushed garlic and saute this for about 30 seconds. You don't want the garlic to burn. I'm also gonna add in about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I'm eyeballing it, but you can go ahead and just measure it out with a tablespoon measure. And we're gonna cook this down for about 3 to 4 minutes until it kind of develops like a deep red hue. And this smells so good already. The shallots and the garlic and the chorizo, it's all like coming through, and it's gonna make such a delicious sauce. Okay, so that looks about right. It's a nice deep red hue. So I'm gonna add in my chicken broth and just give it a good mix. So typically for chicken broth, I love the Better Than Bouillon, the low sodium. I just feel like it adds so much flavor. Sometimes I have fresh chicken broth, but recently everybody in my house was sick, so I used it all up for like chicken soup. But this also works really well. It has some added flavors to it, and I love what it does to sauces. You'll just stir that in. And I'm also adding in about 3/4 cup of heavy cream. Perfect. And for the seasonings, I've got some red pepper flakes. You can skip if you do not want spice. I've got about half a teaspoon just because like I like things super spicy, but I would start with about a pinch, which is a 1/4 teaspoon. And I've got oregano and just a little bit of salt because the chicken broth has salt and then the cheese is gonna have salt. So I'm gonna taste it towards the end and just adjust from there to avoid it being too salty. And let that come to a simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes just so the sauce can thicken up a bit. All right, I've shut off the heat. I'm just adding my Parmesan in, just a little at a time. Help it melt. You know, I said I wasn't gonna use this whole 3/4 cups, but I lied. I want it super cheesy. So I'll just grate some more over the top. And you'll just let this simmer for about a minute. And then we're gonna add our pasta, shrimp, and chorizo back in. Let's add our shrimp and chorizo back in. Amazing. That looks delicious. Let's add our pasta back in. Just give that a nice blend. Let it get fully incorporated in the sauce. It's nice and creamy, but I'm just gonna add in a little bit more pasta water just to loosen the sauce up. And that's coming together nicely. Yes, yes. This looks so good, guys. And then I've got some fresh basil here that I cut earlier. I'm gonna add that in, give it a stir, and I'm gonna save some more for garnish when I'm plating. And we'll just let this come together for about a minute more. And it's ready, guys. Super easy. About 25 minutes it took me to put this together. It's perfect. And now we're just gonna plate it. I'm putting in about 3 heaping spoons of pasta. Top it with a little bit more fresh basil. You can even do more Parmigiano Reggiano. Totally up to you. Can't wait to try this. Let's do it. That's delicious. Gonna go ahead and get shrimp too. Man, that's good. It's like super tender and it has like that hint of chorizo. Man, you guys are gonna love this. If you guys try this, let me know in the comments. Bon appetit.